In this video, we're going to learn how to use a multimeter, a digital multimeter, to measure the voltage across a battery and also to measure the amount of resistance on a resistor. After we just learned to read the color codes, now we're going to use the multimeter to help us figure that out. So first, we need to take a look at our battery, and on the label it will say 1.5 volts. So I want to make sure this really does have 1.5 volts. So on my multimeter, over here on the side, you'll see there is a V for volts. It has 200 millivolts, which is 2 thousandths of a volt, 2, 20, and 200. I want to use the 2 because this is 1.5, which is less than 2. So I'm going to take the dial and turn it to 2. Make sure that your leads are plugged, the red one on the right and the black one on the left. And then red is positive, I'm going to put it to the positive side of the battery, and black is negative, I'm going to put it to the negative side of the battery. And when I make that connection, notice my multimeter is registering at 1.57. So this is a good battery. It has the right amount of volts. We're supposed to have 1.5, and it reads 1.57. Next, I want to do a 9-volt battery. This should have 9 volts. Notice if I leave my multimeter on 2, when I plug the red to the positive and the black to the negative, it reads a 1 instead of a 9 volt. This is telling me that it's not at a high enough tolerance. This only gives me a accuracy up to 2. So I'm going to have to turn the dial to be 20 because 9 is less than 20. 9 is not less than 2. So now when I put my leads back on the battery, it reads 9.6 volts, 9.5 volts. So we're getting a good read. This battery is good and it's fully charged. Sometimes if you've used it too much or if it's an old battery, it may not read 9 volts, it may read only 5 volts. And you can use this in the robotics activity so that you can tell if it's your battery that's the problem, because it will read only like 5.6 volts. Then you'll know you need a new backup battery to help your VEX nets work. So that's batteries and measuring voltage. You can turn it back to the off position. Now I would like to measure this resistor. I want to know how many ohms of resistance is this resistor providing. We can read the color band, and I know based on our activity where we learned how to read the colors, this is black, gray, orange. This should be a 68 kilo ohm resistance. So I want to measure and see if it's really providing that. So again, on my multimeter, over here on the side, you'll notice the symbol for ohms. So I'm going to be turning the dial to this portion of my multimeter. And again, it has varying levels, 2 kilo ohms, 20 kilo ohms, or 200 kilo ohms. So since I believe this resistor to be 68 kilo ohms, I'm going to 200 is where I need to be in order to read. But let's show you just how 20, and this one it doesn't matter, it's giving me that 1 again because it's not high enough. So when I go up to 200, now I'm getting a resistance of 67.5. And I thought it was going to be 68, so this is a good resistor. Let's do one more. If I look at the colors on this resistor code, then I think that this one, when I read the bands, it's going to be 82 kilo ohms. So I don't want to be on 2, that's too small. 20 is too small. I need to do 200 because I think this is 82. So that's why it's important to learn some of those codes. Then when I put my leads on each side, oh, it's having a hard time reading. Oh, there we go. My connection. It's hard to make these leads stay connected, so that's why I'm having bouncing nets. Here we go. 81.5, and I thought it was going to be 82. So that's how you measure your resistance with the multimeter. So now you're going to practice using your multimeter in an activity where we take different batteries and different resistors and we practice reading the color bands and using the multimeter to verify that they are good components.